So I'm really very honored to be able to stand here and share my story today. So I'm going to start with when my journey began, and actually began for me when I think back to the birth of my son, which was 6 years ago. Life was forever changed. I was 35 and I became a new mom, and my partner and I had embarked on this. I had a healthy pregnancy, and we couldn't be more proud parents. And so there we were, two moms raising our little boy, Carter, and completely overwhelmed and completely taken by this new and daunting task. And it was a wonderful time. I was healthy, and I thought I was healthy, and I was feeling like I was thriving in that role. I went back to work after maternity leave, trying to figure out how to juggle sort of being a mom now, having a busy work life, and to manage it all. And things were good. I was extremely tired, but what new mom isn't tired? And I just thought that that was what was happening for me. I was just sleep deprived and, just feeling fatigued because of the lack of sleep. Now, in hindsight, I look back and I realize that I was probably way more tired than most new moms and experiencing other symptoms. I was having night sweats, but I explained that as well off to having the heat up really high in my house because I didn't want my baby to get cold. And so I just explained that off, and I didn't pursue any of these symptoms because, I had been healthy, and why would I? I was just living my life. So life was changed forever. We had this great little guy in our lives, and I was carrying on. Went back to work, and then shortly after being back at work, and shortly after Carter's first birthday, I would experience yet another life-changing event. I had blood in my urine one day. I had left work and wasn't going to do anything about it, but my partner said, "You really should get that checked out." And so I hurried off to the local urgent care. Then shortly after that visit to the hospital, I had an ultrasound and then learned that I had an 11-centimeter tumor on my left kidney. So it certainly wasn't the news that I was expecting at that point in my life, and was yet another life-changing event. Right off the hop, the physicians that had seen me felt that what they had seen was very much consistent with renal cell carcinoma. So I jumped into warrior mode. I worked in the healthcare field, so I thought, well, I'm just going to deal with this and mobilize the healthcare system. And I was able to do that really effectively for myself. I quickly got a CT scan without an appointment, can you imagine? And quickly was referred to a urologist who quickly scheduled a surgery for me. So 3 weeks after diagnosis, I had a radical nephrectomy. And I went through that experience, and it was a blur and in complete shock. Finished surgery and was told that, in fact, it was likely a renal cell carcinoma, but pathology reports would need to confirm what type. It was large, but it was contained to my kidney. There didn't seem to be any sort of lymph node involvement, but they were going to check that, and there had been no evidence of any spread in any other part of my body. So all of the things were lining up, and it was really starting to look like a good news picture, and it was. What, of course, I didn't expect was the emotional impact that this had on me. I actually work in the area of mental health, so I support and facilitate all kinds of experiences for people in terms of managing their emotions through different. And now I was being flooded with this impact of an emotional sort of overload and how this cancer diagnosed impact me. And I just want to share a little bit about the emotional landscape, because I think this is one of the common things that many cancer patients experience, is just an overwhelming flooding of so many different emotions. And we heard already today of other survivors' experience and the post-traumatic stress experience and many other things. For me, it started with, how can this be? Here I am, this young person, just had a baby. I'd had ultrasounds when I was pregnant. No one saw this massive tumor in my body. So how could this be? I didn't meet the profile. I had done, the research as to who was at risk, and it wasn't me. I didn't see myself in any of the PubMed articles I found. So I was experiencing significant disbelief. And of course, when I was right into it before the surgery had even happened, I was panicked. I thought, how will I get through this? I had a little boy I had to be around. So I needed this thing out of my body now. So when a surgeon said that they would do surgery in 3 weeks, I didn't think about a second opinion. I never went there at all. I just thought, okay, great, let's do this. And so it happened. And then get me out of this body. Like, how come my body failed me? So anger. And then, of course, the despair, will I die? And the hopelessness that comes with this kind of news. After the surgery and after all of the good news, it was contained, there was no evidence of disease, I had a hard time believing, did they get it all? And the fear stayed with me and became a very close friend for a very long time in my journey. But along the way, there have been many sources of strength. And I'm just going to share very quickly about some of my sources of strength. And these are just some of the things I thought I'd share today. Certainly one of the things that was incredibly powerful for me was having a very stable and secure home life and nurturing spouse and son. The constant reminders of why I wanted to remain on this planet. Playing, caring for my son were great distractions and moved me beyond myself. For me, being sort of caught in this was very much a time where I sort of went inside and had a hard time connecting with anything outside of myself. And so my son certainly helped me do that. Support of family and friends was absolutely integral. It's amazing how people rally around you when you have this kind of experience, be it food being brought to your home or people dropping off books or visiting, or the list goes on. Unbelievable support. Another real source of strength for me was spirituality, and a source of healing and strength, mostly about opportunities to reflect on what my beliefs were and what were the things that I was most grateful for in my life. And for me, gratitude has been an important part of the healing journey. Another experience for me that has led to a tremendous amount of strength and opportunity is Kidney Cancer Canada. And I'll speak to that again in a couple seconds. But the opportunity to tap into a network of people who'd had a similar experience, because I felt so alone. I felt so alone because I didn't meet the profile. I certainly wasn't going to any clinic and seeing any other people that looked like me, or even an opportunity to speak to anybody who'd had kidney cancer. And when I'd share with someone I had kidney cancer, they'd say, I'd never heard about kidney cancer before. And so that kind of happened, and I felt very isolated. But once I connected with Kidney Cancer Canada, it was very early on in the organization's life, actually, that I was just reminded of the strength that comes from connecting and bonding with people with a shared experience. So that was very meaningful. Another incredible source of strength for me was having the drive and access to accurate information, and that was very, very important for me. I may have kind of gone too far one way, where I was doing literature reviews and gathering pathology imaging and all of this sort of thing, which probably isn't necessary, but for me it gave me a sense of power, and having access to that knowledge helped me to maintain some perspective and manage my anxiety. Having knowledgeable healthcare providers. Kidney Cancer Canada really encouraged me, and the connections I made there, to have a second opinion. Even though I'd had a radical nephrectomy and I'd gone through the surgery, I still wasn't confident that I was getting the kind of follow-up that I needed. And so it was through those conversations that I got the strength to ask for a second opinion. I was very lucky to then be referred to a specialist in Manitoba, Dr. Drakenberg, who'll be speaking this afternoon. And having confidence in your healthcare providers, so important, and that was an incredible source of strength for me as well. Having the relationship with Kidney Cancer Canada, becoming a volunteer, has created an opportunity for me to be a warrior and to have an impact on other people through the work that I've been able to participate in around supporting the advocacy campaigns, encouraging access to information, and knowing that, if we continue to support research, that if my cancer comes back, or when my cancer comes back, that there will be other options, that there will be lots of options. And so I really firmly believe in supporting research and advocating for drug access. When it's all said and done, these major life events often lead us to a place of searching for meaning. And I tend to be a bit of an existentialist, so I kind of get pulled into that, where I want to sort of reflect on my purpose and meaning. But I really took some time to reflect on what is the significance of my illness, and why did I get kidney cancer. And of course, I don't know all the answers to that, and probably never will, but I've learned so many lessons about the importance of listening to my body, of continuing to take care of it, because I always had taken care of it, the importance of managing stress, expressing emotions, not bottling things up, making time to play and have fun and to enjoy life. It has changed my life for good in so many ways. I tried each day to live with intention and to not just let things unfold, and that's become an important part of how I want to live my life on a go-forward basis, and to enjoy each moment, because at the end of the day we just have moments, and to really enjoy those moments. So my little motto is framed in this poem, which I just absolutely love. And I've always been inspired by Onward, which Tony, our co-founder, has left with us. But one of my mottos is, I will not die an unlived life. And I just want to share that with you as I sort of finish up here. And these are pictures of my son and my partner and our dog, our new black lab, who's living life fully in our house. I will not die an unlived life. I will not live in fear of falling or catching fire. I will choose to inhabit my days, to allow my living to open me, to make me less afraid, more accessible, to loosen my heart until it becomes a wing, a torch, a promise. I will choose to risk my significance, to live so that which came to me as seed goes to the next as blossom, and that which came to me as blossom goes on as fruit. And that for me is very meaningful. Thank you for the gift of being able to share my story with you.